Hello, my name is Matthew. I am known in the Buddhist Sangha as Dhammananda. I am a trained and ordained Buddhist priest within the Mahajriya Vajrayana Buddhist tradition. I currently hold the level of Acharya, which is Master Teacher. And I have started a group known as the Dhamma-Vinaya Buddhist Meditation Study Group. We primarily meet in Gulf Shores, Alabama. And that's where most of our members live, in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Alabama area. Now I thought I'd give a series of videos here on YouTube to have a bit of a better understanding about Buddhism, things of that nature. In this first video, I'm just going to go about the basics of Buddhism itself, about its founder, and about what Buddhism really is. It's not really so much a religion as more of a lifestyle. Now, we'll first begin about the Buddha, who was the founder of Buddhism. First, who is the Buddha, really? The Buddha, which is Pali for the awakened one, that's what the term Buddha means. He lived about 2,500 years ago. He was born, his name was Siddhartha Gautama. He was a prince of the Sakya clan in the northeast India, which is now considered Nepal. Prince Gautama lived his first 29 years of life in luxury at the palace in the Sakyan capital of Kapilavatthu. During this time, he married Yasodhara, his wife, and had a son named Rahula. When Gautama finally left the palace for the first time, he noted at the age of 29, he saw the suffering of sickness, old age, and death that everyone has to go through. Seeing this, he had compassion for all of humanity, and Prince Gautama decided to leave his family and embark upon a quest to find an end to human suffering. His travels led him to many teachers who taught him various forms of meditation or self-mortification, which means depriving the body of the necessities of survival. This is starving oneself, depriving oneself of water or of sleep, things of that nature, in order to try to reach the end of suffering, which is known as enlightenment or awakening. And at one time, Gautama, he actually almost died from starvation through this practice. And as he was dying, there was a young girl who gave him a little bit of food, and he realized that this can't really be the way. He went basically as far as he could go with this practice and did not attain enlightenment, so he knew that this could not be the way to reaching enlightenment. And once he realized that this practice and all the other practices he had done did not lead to an end of suffering, they actually just led to more suffering, he sat under a Bodhi tree and made the determination that he would not move until he had actually attained awakening or died, whichever came first. Now, while sitting under this tree, Gautama remembered a time as a child that his attendants had left him to himself during a festival at the royal palace, and he had just been thinking and just started meditating all of a sudden. And he attained a meditative state that he would later term samadhi, or tranquil insight. And Gautama began meditating through this technique, and after about 2 days of meditation through samadhi, he actually attained full awakening, which is also known more popularly as enlightenment. Now, a young girl from a nearby village had actually been attending to Gautama during this time, and after his awakening gave him the title of Buddha. This is how Buddhism was actually born. Now, what is Buddhism really? As I said earlier, Buddhism is not really so much a religion as it is really a lifestyle. And it's a lifestyle that can actually be practiced by anyone regardless of his or her religious preference. You can be a Christian and practice the Buddhist lifestyle of compassion, etc. Now, over the centuries after the Buddha's death, Buddhism has evolved into a religion, getting various rites and rituals and things of that nature. But it's not necessary to practice the religion and practice these rites and rituals in order to practice the Buddhist way of life. If one just follows the basic 5 precepts of Buddhism, which is to refrain from intentionally harming or killing any living being, except in self-defense, to refrain from stealing, To refrain from any type of sexual misconduct, this means infidelity, child molestation, rape, etc. Refrain from intentionally lying or using any type of harsh or divisive speech. This also means this means cursing, means lying, it means slander, which is to lie about another group of people to make one group angry with them, basically to cause a split. And to refrain from intoxicating drinks and drugs. This means recreational use. It doesn't mean medicine, but it does mean abusing medicine. It means to refrain from recreational use of alcohol to take the edge off the day, or drugs to take the edge off of life in general, or the day, whatever, what have you. And then you also are generous to others and practice meditation, the type of meditation that was taught by the Buddha on a regular daily basis, then you're actually practicing the Buddhist lifestyle. It doesn't really have to be a religious practice. Meditation in and of itself is not really religious at its core. It's actually just a lifestyle of contemplation that you choose to practice. And this is really what Buddhism is. You don't have to sit there and have all the rites and rituals or do any type of chants or prayers. Within Buddhism, the primary core of Buddhism, the orthodox form known as Theravada Buddhism, which is, even though I'm ordained in a Vajrayana Buddhist tradition, I primarily practice and teach from the Theravada tradition. Within that orthodox tradition, there is no prayers to the Buddha. The Buddha was just an ordinary man. He even said so himself, and he asked that nobody prayed to him. He asked that no statues or idols be made of him for people to pay reverence to, that they should only pay reverence to the Dhamma, or his teachings, or the truth of the present moment. He paid reverence to basically the wisdom that came about through your meditative practice. And that's what I like to try to teach, and that's what I encourage in others. I hope that this slight introduction has kind of enlightened or illuminated you a little bit about the basics of Buddhism and who the Buddha was. And in some of my next videos, I'll actually be getting into some more of the deeper teachings, the core foundational teachings of Buddhism. Thank you.